Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amit Joshi, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, my colleague when I was in Barkatullah University, Bhopal, from 1989 to 1996. And we have so many discussions, interdisciplinary discussions on sociology and psychology, we can say. And my co-chair, Dr. K.N. Guru Prasad, the panelists, and other faculty members present at this moment in the webinar. Uh, I am very grateful to the Institute to invite me to this virtual conference and to preside over this session. Being the chairman of the session, I would like to introduce some issues which I think are pertinent before we go for the presentation of the panelists. The focus of the conference is on interdisciplinary insights, that is bridging boundaries in social science. This is the major theme of this conference. So, being a student of social science and my discipline is sociology, we all are concerned with the study of social phenomena. And since the appearance of the social science, there is an interplay between specialization and integration of disciplines for the study of social phenomena. There have been divergent views among the social scientists regarding specialization and integration of different social science disciplines like sociology, social anthropology, psychology, economics, political science, history, and philosophy. T.B. Buttermore has discussed at length the relationship of sociology with general sciences like social anthropology and psychology on the one hand, and with two specialized social sciences, economics and political science, on the other. He then analyzed the relation of sociology with history and philosophy, and he arrived on a conclusion that sociologists must become specialists except for those who concern themselves entirely with logical problems of general sociology. The greater their competence in particular field of inquiry like law, religion, economics and politics, the greater will be influence of sociological research and profundity and accuracy of their own researches. In his view, the unity of social sciences, which now seems closer as a result of increasing collaboration and cross fertilization, is best conceived as a unity of method and the conceptual schemes, not as a universal history. So he emphasized on cross fertilization and unity of method and conceptual schemes. So collaboration should be or integration should be at conceptual level and at methodological level. So this is the I think crux of what T.B. Buttermore talks about the interdisciplinarity of different social science subjects. Thus, specialization is the first and foremost condition for the growth of a discipline in order to understand a specificity of the social phenomena that discipline study. The subject specialists have to develop conceptual schemes and methods for their inquiry suitable to their discipline. But at the same time, there must be an effort to adopt an integrated approach, that is interdisciplinary approach, to understand the totality of the phenomena or to understand the relationship between two or more aspects of social life. There are three ways to interdisciplinary study in social sciences, and these are: number one, transdisciplinary; number two, cross disciplinary; and third, multidisciplinary. The transdisciplinary approach involves overarching non-discipline bound thought models. For example, general systems like structuralism, Marxism, sociobiology. This approach dominated in the work of early classical sociological works, which attempted to develop a general system of society in historical and evolutionary perspective. Even today, there are attempts to develop such general theoretical systems. Second, cross-disciplinary approach. It involves an effort at connecting and combining across disciplinary boundaries. It includes 7 categories of cross-disciplinary activities. Number first, topical focus. Cross-disciplinary topics like crime. Crime can be studied from different angles by different disciplines. Area studies like study of Latin American studies, South Asian studies, which covers a particular geographical region or the continent. That can be studied from different disciplines point of view. Then courses like urban sociology, urban geography, urban economics, political sociology, and we can go beyond social sciences in case of environmental studies. Second is professional preparation, that is vocational training. For that, we can have uh, the contribution of different disciplines like in business as a vocation, nursing as a vocation, home economics, health education, and public administration, and also in management we have this kind of cross disciplinary approach. Third is life experience perspective program, and we see that in different fields people have different kind of experience, and uh, we see that it also reflect in academics, and particularly we find certain ethnic elements in the uh, formulation of the concepts. Uh, for example, if we see in case of uh, India, there are certain terms which has been used by Britishers for certain sections of the population for like habitual offenders or criminal tribes. So this kind of concepts are value loaded, and they have certain bias in conceptualization of the social phenomena because of their different life experience. Fourth is shared components. We all know that in sociological research or in social science research, statistical inferences are used, computer and mathematical models are used. So these are the shared components in social sciences. Then cross-cutting organizing principles or concepts, like concept of role, and you know that concept of role is used in different disciplines. It is used in psychology, it is also used in sociology when we do functional analysis, it is also used uh, in other sciences when we say that historical role of such and such person in history. So this is also, then exchange is also a concept which is used by different disciplines. Acculturation, socialization, modernization provide highly viable basis for cross disciplinary, cross fertilization. Postmodernism, post structuralism, and now globalization also fall in this category. Sixth is hybrids. Hybrids is combining the parts of two existing relating disciplines to form uh, interstitial new cross disciplines which attempt to bridge perceived gaps between disciplines. Well known examples are social psychology. There is a gap between sociology and psychology. The social psychology fill up this gap. Then economic anthropology, political sociology, and so on. And last is grand synthesis, that is systematic integration of all disciplinary structures through grand theories like system theory of Parsons or word system theory of Wallerstein. These are some of the examples of these grand synthesis. Third is multidisciplinary approach. Multidisciplinary approach are limited to the juxtaposing of disciplines, usually generated by the need to deal with some social problems. This approach exposes the researcher to other disciplines relevant to understand the subject of his or her study. For example, in development studies, it requires a wide understanding of the problem cutting across the various disciplines and knowledge base of different disciplines. It is applied to resolve the problem at grassroots level through programs and schemes. As I think Yatindra Singh Sishodia has highlighted this dimension of development studies in his chief guest address today morning. And recently, multidisciplinary approach is considered fruitful for the study of globalization. Now, somebody is talking. Now, finally, I will give some points because time is very limited. Globalization and multidisciplinary perspective. And you know that globalization, it is a recent phenomenon which we observed in last 3 decades, and it has encompassed the whole social sciences, not only whole social sciences, but I think in the field of literature, philosophy, and in environmental sciences, there is a lot of talk of this process of globalization, and uh, it has become a phenomenon which attract the attention of uh, different disciplines. And why multidisciplinary approach is must for the understanding of the globalization, I will uh, point out some issues or some points that which I think are important for understanding of this multidisciplinary perspective. First of all, globalization is a territorial concept. It deals with territory because it assumes local, national, supranational, global territories. When we talk of global, we are talking in terms of territories, and therefore its analysis is related to the analysis of geographical unit. So we can't understand without having some knowledge of the geography or geographical concepts. Then globalization is an economic phenomenon as it is linked with the operation of the global economy. So we have to understand global markets, the infrastructures, transportations, and other economic phenomena. Then globalization is also a political phenomenon as it undermines the nation states, the other elements of power structure at various levels from global to local. And it is said the power of the political leaders in a country is diminished, and the market is dominating or deciding, exercising its power over the political leaders. They are compelled to follow certain policies, and if you follow the policy of liberalization, privatization, and globalization at the initiative of the World Bank, then you are bound to do some structural reforms in your economy. So, your power to intervene in your economic policy is also curtailed when you adopt the policy of globalization. Thirdly, globalization is a social phenomenon and it affects family, kinship patterns, and other social institutions of the society, and particularly social relations are stressed uh, from local to global level. So they change in the patterns of the relationship, and you know that father is here, son is in America, and another relative is in some other country, and then the social relationship are not confined at one place as we see in our traditional society that people were living a very good peaceful life in a village or moreover in a particular region. But now social life is not confined to one village or one town. It is now high level of geographical mobility, and even people are migrating from one country to another very frequently for their business, for their other kind of uh, works. Then globalization is a cultural phenomenon, and religion, values, belief system, and norms are affected by it. And it is also a civilizational clash because of globalization. And you know, study of Huntington, the clash of civilization is based on this kind of aspect of globalization. Then globalization raises environmental issues at global level in the form of environmental movements. Now you see there are several movements have been taking place, and in Seattle there was a protest when World Trade Organization meeting was taking place there, and the environmental activists, they gathered and they opposed the globalization. Then globalization has implication and is facilitated by global communication system and affect the social life of the people. So communication system supports globalization, and global economy cannot perform without communication networks which have been generated in last 3 and 4 decades. Thus, for a fuller understanding of globalization, we have to adopt multidisciplinary approach by bringing different specialists at one platform so that we can have a better understanding of the causes and effect of globalization in contemporary society. So I think that if we have to adopt this approach, multidisciplinary approach, we have to change in our education system also. The education system which we are having at graduate level and postgraduate level, based on 2-3 subjects, for example, political science, sociology, psychology, or Hindi political science, like that. This kind of combinations are not fruitful in today's globalizing world, and I think there is a need to have some innovative curriculum at PG level and at as well as at the graduation level. And now in new education policy, they have taken some steps like 4 years, program in which after 4 years one can leave and with MA degree if he go for one more year, and lateral entry and lateral exit is also allowed. Actually, I initiated this type of 7 years integrated course from graduation to the PhD program in Allahabad University when I started a new department, Center for Globalization and Development Studies. And in that, we were having, if you leave after 3 years, you will go with a graduation degree. After 4 years, with PG degree. And if you continue after 4 years, then in 7 years, you can exit with the PhD program. And some students successfully did PhD program. After 12, they took admission in this course and they completed PhD. So it was an innovative program, but the new government, BJP government, has has removed this kind of program in Delhi University, and we were also compelled to discontinue that program. And unfortunately, that program is not continuing now. But in the new education policy, they have introduced the same program. So I think there is a need to change in our education system a lot in today's and multidisciplinary approach we should adopt. And I think on the initiation of the Supreme Court, environmental study has been made compulsory at graduation level. So I think we have to do more things. And with this, I conclude my the introductory remark of this session.